What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the JW Sports Talk Show. We got some serious news right now, and the Colts are getting ready. Their roster is just about down. It should be down now. I just looked at the ESPN depth chart. I just counted it's at like 66 players, but I will open up the Colts depth chart in a few minutes. We'll talk about JT for a couple minutes, and hopefully the final roster for 2023 will officially come out. So Jonathan Taylor will not be traded. Chris Ballard has came out and said that. Well, he didn't really come out and say. I don't even know if there was a press conference, but I just saw the ESPN report that Jonathan Taylor would not be traded. Did not feel like they got a fair offer. So, staying in Indy for now. You know, is he going to play? That's a whole other question that we're going to go through. Chris Ballard, he's being too stingy. As Jags fan has already said here, JT, there's a good chance Jonathan Taylor doesn't even play for us. Does he? Does he not? And I would think, it's more likely that he doesn't play for us. And should we have gotten someone from him while we could have? So Volcano says that's a good thing. Sure, if he plays, hopefully it does. Hopefully they come to some kind of agreement. Maybe they'll sweeten up the... No, he can't really even do that because you still got the whole last year of his contract yet. But maybe they could sweeten it up a little bit. I mean, JT signed it. He put his signature down. And I think he should play the last year. Now he's a running back. I understand where he's coming from. Once you get to your fourth year, your career as a running back is more than likely more than half over. So, let's see. Jags fan, JT is never going to play for the Colts. They should have gotten something for him while they still can. You're probably right. I'm going to agree with you because, Jonathan Taylor and his agent have made it very clear that he wants his money and he's not going to play without his money. So, what if the Colts end up putting him on the NFI list if he doesn't play at all? And I mean, he's going to be being fined. He's going to get fined throughout the year. He's going to get fined if he does not show up. Right now, I think he's still on the PUP list. But he could get fined. He doesn't play, doesn't come to practices or anything. And it's just like, the drama. The drama continues. Nathan, I see JT sticking it to the Colts, sitting out till week 10 and leaving after that. That'd be wild. That'd be interesting. And it's just, and even after next year, JT's going to be fine on this money. He may just have to suck it up and play. And look what happened with Le'Veon Bell and some of these other running backs that held out and players that held out. It has never worked out in the player's favor for sitting out. Never has. So maybe Jonathan Taylor should look at those players and be like, yeah, maybe I should play. Maybe I should stick it out, and then maybe I could get more next year. But I really understand where Jonathan Taylor is coming from. You look at what running backs have been through. Like I just said, once you hit your fourth year of your, the fourth year of your contract, or just being in the NFL, your career is more than likely half over as a running back, if not just about over. It's just how the running back position is, and Jonathan Taylor wants his money. While on the other hand, the NFL is a business. It's a harsh reality of the NFL, and even if you look into the real world, the NFL runs on supply and demand. There's a lot of running backs out there that can come in and get the job done and do more than we need to ask them. Or even if they just do what we ask them, they're still doing enough, especially for a running back. And We look over the past 10 years of running backs being paid. 2 running backs were paid over $1 million on the team that won the Super Bowl. This goes to show you. Since you didn't trade him, the drama will continue the regular season. JT just have to sit in. He's just gonna have to sit. He's just gonna have to sit, and there's no going around it. But I mean, if he wants to cash in next year, he'll play. Pittman has made a good example of this. Pittman has came out and said that he will play his final year whether he has a contract or not. Now, I think Pittman still has something to prove. I think that's why he still wants to play this last year. I think he knows that he can get a lot more. But Jonathan Taylor knows that if he plays this year and he suffers another serious injury, or if he just doesn't look as good, he's not going to get nowhere near what he's asking. He's not, I think the Colts have already offered him maybe 12. Even if they did offer, I'm not sure if they did or not, but if they did, I would assume they offered 12 or 13, which I think is pretty good. And I've said multiple times, I think we, if there's a time to, in this day and age to re-sign a running back to a big time deal, whether it is $15, $16 million deal, I think this is a circumstance in which it's some, you could kind of, I'm trying to look for the word. I think it's worth it. I think this is a time, the situation that the Colts are in. I think you could look at the situation. You have a really young quarterback, really raw, has a long way to go. He looked good. He looked bad in preseason. He had some good, had some bads, overthrew quite a bit of footballs or passes. He also threw some on the money. Just a lot of drops. There were a lot of drops as well in the preseason, but I mean, not good. I mean, it's not good that this drama is going to continue, and this could maybe. I don't think it's going to hurt Anthony Richardson because I think Anthony Richardson is very strong mentally. Pittman plays the receiver position; they get paid a lot more in their career. That's true as well. That's another side of the argument that makes a lot of sense, and why he's willing to play the year before he gets paid. Now, like I was saying earlier, I think you could justify. That's where I was looking for. I think you could justify paying running back $15, $16 million a year when you have a young rookie quarterback with sky-high potential, but he needs a lot of work and he needs a lot of help. I think it's justifiable to pay Jonathan Taylor all this money. Now, say we pay Jonathan Taylor 15, let's just say we pay him $15, $16 million a year. If he only has 2 really good years out of that contract, but it helps Anthony Richardson develop and become a phenomenal quarterback, then I would say it's more than worth it, even if you miss out on the 2 other years. Now, I know, that's kind of like waste of money in the owner's pocket, and they're not really going to look at it like that, but you got to look at it as if he helps Anthony Richardson develop into a quarterback that he can become. I'm not saying he's going to be. The chances of him becoming a great quarterback is probably pretty low. He's got a long way to go, but he's got a great mindset. His mental makeup is like a 27, 28-year quarterback. Just because he made it, just because he was a high overall pick, has all this talent, he's not full of himself. He doesn't think he's there, that he's done it, that he, can stop working. No, he realizes that he's got a long way to go, and he wants to be known for a long time. His legacy wants to be put in place in Indianapolis, and he realizes that he needs work. And he said something similar to that as well. He knows he needs to work. He knows that he has a long way to go, and I respect that, and that's very important as a young quarterback, as a young player in general, because you look at some quarterbacks who made it to the NFL, cocky, arrogant, I'm great, I'm here, I don't need to continue working. Johnny Manziel. Look at Johnny Manziel, a pretty talented quarterback, never turned out. That he was it when he made it. So, I think AR has a lot of potential, and Jonathan Taylor can help that. So that's why I think it's somewhat justifiable to pay running back to pay a huge sum of money. I think it's one of the rare situations it's justifiable that you could do it. Otherwise, if you had a quarterback, kind of like the Giants, if you pay Daniel Jones, it's a very similar situation. But Barkley was holding out. Ultimately, they sweetened up the deal on the franchise tag, gave him a little more. It's a similar situation because, well, no. Yeah, it's a similar situation in the terms of, I'm going to use Daniel Jones as an example. You just paid Daniel Jones, your starting quarterback, a crap load of money. what was it, 40, 41, $42 million a year. I think when you have to make a decision like that, you're obviously going to pay the quarterback. And even if you still have him on a big contract and he's still young and you still got years to go, I don't think you re-sign the running back because you need to allot that money somewhere else. You need to use that money that you would have used for the running back, for your quarterback, maybe for a receiver, a tackle, possibly a tight end. If you have a really good tight end, I would, is tight end a more valuable position than running back? I think so. They last longer. It's wild, how far this has gone though. Remember when Jonathan Taylor was saying, "Oh, he wants to be a Colt for life. He's never gonna want to leave Indianapolis." And it seems like ever since the running backs had this meeting, Jonathan Taylor has realized and he wants to stand up for what he thinks he's worth. He doesn't just want to settle. He wants to get what he's worth. He sees what's happening. He doesn't want to fall into that trap. And like I mentioned earlier, I get it. He's a running back. His career doesn't last long. He has to get every penny that he could. But then, like another thing I said earlier, and I've said all this on the channel a lot already. I said all this a lot on a lot of videos talking about Jonathan Taylor or Anthony Richardson. Throughout the whole offseason, we've talked about this. Everyone, bring the Jews. All the podcasters have talked about this nonstop. Inside the Horseshoe, Culture, Lawrence Owen, all these guys have stated these statements. I've talked about this all offseason. And when it's this big of a topic, when you have this kind of talent, it's understandable. It's going to have a lot of talk around it. So, will Jonathan Taylor actually play this year? Seems like a very low percentage says yes. It doesn't seem like it. Now, maybe he will suck it up and say, "Hey, I'm going to play. I'm going to show them what I'm worth. And if they don't resign me, oh well, another team will pay me." But, especially this offseason. And it's really, someone's been lying. Colts owner was taking personal shots at him in interviews. I think he's done with the Colts. Owner ruined the relationship. Yeah. I mean, Irsay has taken some shots. Irsay's not shy. He will say how he's feeling. And that's okay. But sometimes, you kind of got to tone it down a little bit. But, I don't know, man. It's not looking good, obviously. It sucks. One of the better running back talents in the league. And it would have been awesome to have Jonathan Taylor and Anthony Richardson in the same backfield. When AR was drafted, I'm like, it's a dream come true. We don't have to imagine it anymore. Well, it's a dream again, where we have to imagine it once again. But, I will move on to the rosters now. I mean, let me see. Maybe if I do a second Google search, Colts Final roster. Maybe it would be on the Colts website. No, it doesn't look like it. Let's see. Let's look in the Colts. The actual Colts website. I'm going to count them. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 2, 23, 24, 25, 6, 40. Yeah, there's definitely still more than 53. But I will still talk about the roster because there's definitely some spots where you could really see who's going to be cut, who's going to be gone. But a lot of them are still unknown. I don't think Molly Cox was cut yet. Molly Cox was not cut yet, which is interesting. See, Jelani Woods is still, obviously he would stay. That wouldn't be a question. But last thoughts on Jonathan Taylor. See if I can come up with any here that are different. Probably be the same. Hopefully he can play. If not, oh well. I think final thoughts. Put his head down and play. Earn more money. Earn what you want. He had a pretty good rookie year. An elite second year. He was on his way to another elite year last year. He was very good. Even though the offensive line wasn't great, he was still finding ways to get yards. He was still finding ways to be a big time playmaker for us. Now, do you want a player pay a player elite money? Now, defenses don't have to stack the box. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. We'll see how Evan Hull, Deion Jackson, how some of these guys turn out that we have now. But a player that has only had one elite year, you don't want to pay him elite money. Unless it's a player you've been waiting for to kind of blossom, a high potential player. But still, if he's only had one elite year, you still want to be wary. You still want to be careful. Because he hasn't shown he could do it every year in, year out. Now JT, I think he can do it again. If he had that kind of offensive line, you gave him the type of volume he had that year, he had almost 2,000 yards. It wouldn't shock me if he had that kind of year again. If you give him the volume, how poor the passing offense was, I think it's possible. Now, it's not very likely. Those are very difficult numbers and a very difficult year to achieve. But at the end of the day, what I'm trying to get at is you have to have more than one elite year to be paid elite money over 2, 3, 4 years. Indiana Creek Walker, I think running backs by committee are just fine. I hope so. I think they can be. Evan Hull has shown some flashes in preseason. I like what we've seen from him. Liked what we've seen from Deion Jackson. I've honestly liked what we've seen from both of them in preseason. Heard they both had a good camp. So the running backs. So Zach Moss, he's going to be out until like the middle of October. That's my prediction. If he's back earlier, awesome. But the prediction was 6 to 8 weeks. It's been like 3 weeks. Maybe 3 more weeks. So maybe early October. Maybe he'll be back early October. I think we'll be fine. But none of these guys are Jonathan Taylor. And we know that. Not great, but pretty good. Exactly. I think, you don't need... Look at all these... a lot of big teams on top, they had a running back... They had running backs by committee. They didn't have one elite running back. They had all these running backs that can be very good and have a good game. It's just whoever has a hot hand. Look at the Eagles. They had Kenneth Gainwell, Miles Sanders, Boston Scott. They had all these different running backs, and it's going to be the same thing this year. They did trade for DeAndre Swift, but they have quite a few running backs. Look at the Chiefs. They have Jerick McKinnon, Isaiah Pacheco, whoever has, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Now, Edwards has been pretty disappointing for a first-round pick. I don't think they're going to re-sign him after this year. Probably going to hit the market. But Pacheco and Jerick McKinnon, that was more than enough to win them the Super Bowl, wasn't it? It's rebuild year. I agree. I saw a short the other day, and they predicted the Colts to have 11 or 12 wins. I'm like, I like the optimism, but let's be realistic here. The Colts have a lot of holes. Look at this cornerback room. Right now, our starting quarterbacks are slated to be Darrell Baker Jr. and DeLis Flowers. Darrell Baker Jr. had a good training camp, had 2 good preseason games, struggled the third one, and didn't even play starters. Didn't play starters. DeLis Flowers, I've heard he's had a decent camp, but he struggled throughout preseason, but he had a good game yesterday. Julius Brents, no experience. Darius Rush, no experience. Jalen Jones, no experience. You don't even know one player in this cornerback room, he could potentially be a decent player. They could all be horrible. And now, trading away Stephon Gilmore looks even worse. But at the time, it was understandable. You had Isaiah Rodgers, and you had some cornerbacks that you were looking towards into the draft. You think, it's a deep cornerback draft. We're going to get a few guys in the draft, and we won't need Gilmore. Now we need Gilmore. Now I know Gilmore isn't what he once was. He's still a very good cornerback. He's not what he once was, but he would have been incredible compared to what we have now. He would have been light years ahead of these guys, and he could have not only just make the immediate impact this year, but years and years to come for these young guys. And then we still have questions with our defensive line. Our defensive line, not the interior. The interior is strong, very good. We saw some great things from Dale Dangbo. I thought he had an incredible camp. Very good camp. We did release Al-Quadin Muhammad. I thought he had a good camp. I guess not. Kwity Paye. I didn't hear anything from him. I didn't even notice that he played during the preseason, to be honest with you. We do have Samson Abuka. He looked pretty good in preseason. So we have Samson Abuka, Dale Dangbo. Well, on the Colts website, it says Al-Quadin Muhammad is still on the depth chart. But I thought they released him. Let's see if I can look up a live track cutter. Or a live roster cut thing. Because right now, it's not really Indianapolis Colts live cut tracker. I probably looked that up in the worst word way possible. Let's see. ESPN live cuts for all 32 teams. Alright, let's find the Colts. So he is still on PUP as well. So we'll see if they change that. Let's keep scrolling down. See if we can find the Colts, because it only showed 2 teams on the top. Alright, let's look at the other one here. I apologize, guys. I apologize, but I thought. Alright, so we did release Kenyon Drake is the guy we released. Speaking of running backs, kind of disappointed in that. I think Kenyon Drake is a very good running back. I thought he'd be an awesome. I thought him and Zach Moss would make for an incredible running back tandem. I thought it'd be phenomenal. I guess not. And you could say. So I also want to talk about this offensive line. The starting offensive line, no worries, for the most part. I think Will Fries will hold his own. I'll be honest with you. I think Will Fries can be okay. Could be wrong. I might have to make a video later on in the year saying how wrong I was. Now, and that Will Fries is horrible. But I have a lot more faith in Will Fries and Denny Pinner. Denny Pinner did go down with he did, I think it was a broken ankle, broken foot. He's out for the year. Unfortunate we had him go out. I hope he gets healthy. I wish him the best of luck. But that leaves this Colts offensive line depth razor thin. And we have a few guys on this line that can have injury problems. Braden Smith has had a hard time staying healthy lately. He's been hurt a few times. How about Ryan Kelly? He's always had trouble staying healthy. So instead of run the damn ball, can we just sign the damn contract? That's a good one. I like that. That's good. Sign the damn contract. I like that. That's a good one. That is a very good one. That maybe should have been a shirt. Someone put should they put JT on the front, like in a small picture in the front, and then just sign the damn contract, or just a hat. Just the hat would be good. You're on to something, Indiana Creek Walker. You are on to something there, man. But let me see. So yeah, Kenyon Drake release. I thought Kenyon Drake and Zach Moss would have been an incredible tandem. And if you still kept Deion Jackson, Evan Hull, would not surprise me. The Colts like to run the ball. Wouldn't shock me if they kept 4 running backs. Not at all. But let's see, we got anything else? Tease Tabor, safety, former Lions. He was released. Brashad Perriman was released. I was a little disappointed by that. And James Washington. Those 2 guys were released. I was excited for James Washington and Brashad Perriman. And we released both. Linebacker Donovan Mooten. James Washington. That was unfortunate. Did release Dakota Shepley, of course. Defensive tackle Caleb Sampson. He's out. Michael Strawn. He was waived. So, players that have been in the NFL for 6 years are cut. And another team can immediately sign them. Players have not played 6 years. I don't know if it's either the 26 and older or younger. I believe when players have been in the league for 6 years, they can be waived. Yes, under 6 years of experience, they will be waived. They will go through the waiver wire. 6 years or more, they'll cut. Any team could cut them at any time. Ronnie Harrison. That was a disappointing release. We could use that kind of depth in the safety room. DJ Montgomery. I thought DJ Montgomery had a nice preseason. He had a lot of nice catches, a lot of nice plays. I expect him to be back on the practice squad. Linebacker, Liam Anderson, but plans to bring him back to the practice squad. Isaac Taylor-Stewart was released, a cornerback. Jason Huntley was released. Amari Rodgers was released. He had a good preseason. Unfortunately, he was released. Jake Funk was released. Vincent Smith, Al-Qadim Muhammad. Let's move this over here. Ricky Seals-Jones, that's unfortunate. I mean, not really Ricky Seals-Jones and Fahara Brown. We have some nice young tight ends. Now we're waiting to see if Molly Cox is going to be cut. Because that's a guy we've been expecting the Colts to cut. So, let's see. Maybe this has better. Okay, so let's see if there's any different ones here. Kenyon Drake, Tease Tabor, Perryman, Harrison, Washington, Dakota Shepley. Yeah, all the guys are there. Emil Akior Jr., the guard we got from Alabama, he was cut. Now, at first, I was excited for him, but then I looked into, some of the tape, some things about him. A lot of people, the NFL site and some people thought he would have been drafted in the fifth, or, in the fifth round, possibly early sixth. Obviously was not. And I just completely lost my train of thought. So Emil Akior, obviously was not drafted. Looked at the tape, was not as impressed from what I've heard. Got a feeling this team is not doom and gloom like we are as a fan base. Right now, I think they've been tired of the BS. They will support JT, but I think to motivate the team for real. Sure. Like, that's good. If they see this stuff, everyone's talking about, the Colts are going to be that good. I don't think they are, honestly. I like to be optimistic at times, but right now, I don't think the Colts can take it to the next level. I think it's still a rebuilding year, as Indiana Creek said. But welcome to the stream, Kellen. Welcome, Indiana. I think I forgot to welcome you. I think you're... I don't remember. We've had a lot of people in here lately, but thank you, everyone, for stopping by. If you're enjoying it, make sure to like, subscribe, put the post notification bell on if you are enjoying it. Having content every single day. We've posted a video every single day for the last 50 days. At least one. Every day we're getting videos out. So if you enjoy stuff like this, stick around. I promise you won't regret it. We're building a community. We're building an empire. It's going to be great. Great community to be around. Awesome place to be for football. Starting to branch out into everything a little bit more, which is important. We need to keep branching out, getting to all the teams. Johnson's agent just squirmed a little bit in his chair. Oh, yeah, he is not happy, but welcome, James. I agree as we will. What's up, chat? My bad. No, you good. But I think this team has a long way to go. Now, hopefully this will motivate them. We need depth on our offensive line. Absolutely. Badly. That's something I was getting at earlier. I'll get back at that in a second. And then, considering we just cut Emil Akior, I think it's a good send-off to that point. Emil being cut, it sucks. I was excited from it, at first, but then I'm like, nah, he's not really that special. He can't really move. Not really a pull. He can't pull. If he gets off his base, it's bad. Wildly inconsistent pass blocking. Not very good guard in general. But yeah, looking at the depth of this offensive line, it's pretty bad. We had Denny, as I was talking about earlier, Denny Pinner went down, out for the year, broken foot, broken ankle. I don't remember what it was, but he's out for the year. That's a talking point. Starting offensive line, Bernard Raymond, right, left tackle. He had a very good preseason. I have high hopes for Bernard Raymond. I think he's going to be a very good left tackle for us. Left guard, Quentin Nelson. Hopefully he can stay healthy. Hopefully he can return to what he was a couple years ago. Every single year he's kind of taking a little step back. Hopefully he can take that step back up. Center Ryan Kelly, I'm worried. Kelly has not been great, has not been absolutely horrible, but he has not been good. And Kelly has a lengthy injury history. Ryan Kelly needs to find a way to stay healthy. And if he is not, I am not confident in a Dan Skippers filling in at center. I'm not confident in Wesley French filling in at center. I don't think he looked good during preseason. I'm not confident Arlington Hambre. I'm not confident in any of these guys to step in anywhere on this offensive line. We don't even know if the right guard position is solved. We have basically nothing behind the starting offensive line. And it is scary. If one or two of these guys go down, it's going to be rough sledding the entire year. I don't want to see Dan Skipper out at left tackle. I don't want to see Dan Skipper out there at all. He's a big guy, but he can't block to save his life. I don't really want to see Wesley French out there. He did not look good in preseason. And speaking of this was proven how bad the depth of this offensive line is. It's razor thin, if there's any at all. When that second offensive line came in versus Buffalo, Colts couldn't do anything. They couldn't run the ball at all. What, there were 2 or 3 sacks in a row one drive? Then 2 or 3 sacks in a row was a first down on the drive. 3 sacks, it was 2 or 3 in a row. It was a second offensive line versus the Bills' second defensive line. Should pick that up at waivers for that. I hope so. I mean, we have to. We have to. You're right. There's no excuses. And I think we need to look at cornerback as well. I was talking about corner earlier. We're going to stay in the depth of the offensive line for now. Good news, the AFC South is not really that strong. Yeah, it's not. But I fully expect your team, the Jags, to take it. If Trevor Lawrence can stay consistent throughout the entire year, like the second half of that Chargers and Jaguars game, Trevor Lawrence showed that he can be one of the best quarterbacks in the National Football League. He was one of the best. There's not many that are as good as Trevor Lawrence when he is on it. The thing is, he struggles to stay on it. If he could be consistent, if he could keep that going, would not shock me to see the Jaguars have 12, 13 wins. Would not shock me one bit. But he's got to stay consistent. Even if he's 75% of what he was in that second half, I still think the Jaguars can win 12, 13 games. It's a very talented roster. Love Travis Etienne. I think they drafted Tank Bigsby as well. I think he's from Tulane. That was Tajay Spears. I don't remember where Bigsby was from. First game means a lot. Yeah, it does. It does. See the catch. Ooh, did you see the catch that Calvin Ridley made against Dolphins? No, but I know Calvin Ridley is capable of making wild catches and being an incredible weapon. It's fair to question a player when he hasn't played a full year. We've seen it time and time again. When a player has been out a full year, it doesn't bode well for them. It never plays in their favor. They never, more times than not, they haven't come back and, shown who they are. They always take that step back, and we always wonder, where did they go? Take that year off. It makes a big difference. Look at Le'Veon Bell. He's a running back as well. But also, there's a big difference in being in shape and being in shape for the NFL. Let's be honest. But we have AR. I'm excited about his potential in new offensive scheme. I know it's going to be brutal some games, but I think with new scheme, it could help O-line. I hope so. I really hope so. I have a lot of faith in Shane Steichen. He's worked with some very good quarterbacks. I know he worked with Phillip Rivers before he worked with Justin Herbert. When he worked with Justin Herbert, I know a lot of coming out. Justin Herbert was one of those players. We didn't know how good Justin Herbert would be. There were some questions around him. He regressed as college football went on, but came to the NFL. He won the Offensive Rookie of the Year. He was incredible. He had one of the best rookie years a quarterback that has ever had that you can ask for. And then he's also worked, so I don't know why I just paused there like that. So yeah, he worked with Justin Herbert, brought him to Rookie of the Year, worked with Jalen Hurts, brought Jalen Hurts to MVP caliber. He was playing at an MVP caliber level. MVP caliber level he was playing at. He was playing really well. Phenomenal. Great. Let's see if he can do it with AR. AR definitely is the biggest project Shane Steichen has ever had. But hey, you know what they say. No risk it, no biscuit, man. And in the conference where you have Patrick Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, Tua when healthy, Lamar Jackson, who else? Deshaun Watson if he can return to form, Aaron Rodgers. The list goes on. You have to go all in. You can't just go at him and be like, oh, I hope he's going to be good enough. You have to go with someone that's, and I like this attitude. And I like that Chris Ballard really taking this risk. Because you need to. You can't just go ahead and draft. Kirk Cousins won't get past the wild card round in the AFC. I love Kirk Cousins, and I think he's much better than what people think. But Kirk Cousins will not get past the AFC. The wild card in the AFC. It won't. Maybe in the NFC, but not the AFC. And I kind of feel like I crapped on Kirk Cousins there. I apologize. Kirk Cousins is very good. I believe I had him at 10 for my quarterback rankings. Cousins is very good. Don't take that in a bad way. Maybe more so a Derek Carr. But he's also really carried a franchise in Las Vegas. Without Derek Carr, no one talks about Vegas. They're like the Cleveland Browns the last 10 years. So maybe really trying to find a quarterback without disrespecting them where it fits. Jared Goff looked really good last year. My point is, you can't win the AFC with a good quarterback. If you want to win the AFC, if you want to win championships in the AFC, you have to have a great quarterback. You have to have weapons. You have to be able to have an offensive line. You have to be able to get after these other quarterbacks. AFC is tough. Colts are a shit show. You don't want to pay JT like a superstar, but you won't superstar trade compensation per he gets away from Indy. I guess we'll see, Jermaine. I appreciate you stopping by. What's going on, fam? Appreciate you. Welcome to the stream. But it's a crap show, and we're tired of it. And this is the last thing a rookie like Anthony Richardson needs. Although I don't think this is going to bother Anthony Richardson. I don't think this is going to bother him one bit. Like I said earlier, AR has a mental makeup of a veteran quarterback. He knows he doesn't have it yet. He knows he has a long way to go. Always does the right thing. High praise for Anthony Richardson. Great mentality. I don't think this is going to bother him. But regardless, you don't want the distraction there. You don't want the distraction for, at all. You just want these guys focusing on football and not, oh, is this guy going to come back? Oh, without this guy, what are we going to be? No, you can't think like that. You can't have these distractions. Colts are delusional to think they're getting a first round running back. Plus, you have to give him a new contract. Exactly. Teams don't even want to draft a running back in the first round. They don't. Rare to see. Once in a blue moon type of thing to see two running backs drafted in the top 15. Bijan and Jameer. Very rare to see that. Doesn't happen often. But they are very good for their teams in the ways they were drafted and the ways they're going to be played. Bijan's going to be a workhorse. He's going to be great in that system. Now, you ask yourself, did the Falcons really need to draft a running back like Bijan to have a high-level running game? No, they didn't. Tyler Algier did just fine last year. Is Cordell Patterson still there? Patterson has been just fine. He came back down to earth last year, but point is, teams don't want to invest a first-round pick in the running back. Great football teams don't invest a first-round pick in a running back. Great football teams invest first-round picks into premium positions. Tackles, quarterbacks, cornerbacks, defensive backs, defensive ends, tackles. I think I said tackles. Even receivers. You can't waste that first-round pick on a position that's not even going to elevate you to the next level and win you a championship. And it's been proven. the best running backs in the league don't win you a championship. When was the last time that happened? It hasn't happened. So, and yeah, getting a first round pick out of Jonathan Taylor probably won't happen. I doubt it. But hey, if there's competition out there in the market, although the Colts just said they're not going to trade him now, if there's competition out in the market, that will just drive the price up. Whether he's worth that or not, it will drive the price up if there's competition. Like I said, supply and demand. Now, it's kind of weird to use that in this situation. You know, why would they trade a first-round pick when there's all the supply out there, but not much demand? Because every team has a running back that is probably capable of being a back, or they have a very good running back room by committee. They have 2 or 3 running backs that can get it done. Getting a first-round pick out of JT is not realistic unless there's a lot of competition for him. But there's not. There's not going to be a lot of competition because, like I just said, like I just explained, no one wants to give up that much for a running back. No one. And then and then like Jags fan said, you have to pay him too. And he wants 15, 16 a year. No team is going to want to trade a first-round pick and pay him elite money. Don't forget, he's coming off of a season-ending ankle injury, season-ending ankle surgery. And it's reported that he was dealing with some kind of back injury that he suffered from, from working out in Arizona. I don't think you want to touch running back, regardless if he has a back injury and he just had a season-ending ankle injury. You won't touch it with a 10-foot pole. It's wild. You can't. So I think you get a first-round pick from that. It's crazy. Mino Shula. Don't want to pay him. Don't want to trade him. Hold him hostage and wait his prime. Disgusting. That's another thing, too. You know, do you really want to waste a player's career like that? Is it really fair? I mean, you could also make the argument that he signed a contract and he should play out the last year. That's not an argument you can make. And, he's a running back. You get it. But he signed the contract. At the end of the day, he signed the contract. And even if he did play this last year, the Colts would probably franchise tag him, and then that would probably be it. He would probably go play somewhere else on a much lesser contract, and it just wouldn't, his career is probably just about over. If not, it's definitely on the downslide. Let's see, Hubbard Colts are going to be horrible. I agree. Having a good running game helps out a rookie QB a lot. You don't want Richardson to use his legs. He won't last. It's true. Quarterbacks that go out there and get hit a lot take the hits. Although I will say, there were quite a few times where AR did go out of bounds instead of getting hit and trying to get more yards. I was impressed with that. Especially in the Eagles game I seen that. I didn't see him in Buffalo. In Buffalo, he's still trying to run people over, but quick difference in that Eagles game. He was running out of bounds. He still threw some stiff arms and still took some chances. But on the one chance, it was a 3rd and long, and he got the first. But we saw what happened to Cam Newton. I'm not saying he's going to be anything like Cam Newton. I'm not saying that. Don't take it in that way. I'm just saying, a quarterback that wants to get hit and looks for contact doesn't last long. Well, is Cam Newton 29, 30 years old when that happened? He had an injury and he came back from it and he was never the same. He fell off a cliff. He was an MVP candidate at one point. Wait, he was MVP, right? Peyton Manning was hurt that year. I think he was MVP. He was MVP, right? Yeah, I believe he was. But it's just, if he uses his legs and he's careful, maybe he could last. But we'll see how that pans out. And yeah, having the good run game absolutely helps your QB. Absolutely helps a young QB, especially with Anthony Richardson, who really needs as much as he can get, as much help as he could get. Now, I think he's a very strong-minded rookie. I think it's good to throw a young quarterback out there in the fire. I think that's a good thing. I don't think it's a bad thing to have your quarterback go out there and, I think it's a little different when your offensive line is bad. You don't want him getting hit and not be able to get real valuable experience. When you're getting hit every play, every second and a half a second, your offensive line can't block for jack squat, then you're not really learning, are you? No, because you don't even know what's unfolding. You can't even worry about the play. You can't even focus on what you're trying to focus on. Now, you do have to be great under pressure. The best quarterbacks in the league are the best under pressure. They'll kill you if you blitz. But more so, best quarterbacks in the league, they find a way. And hopefully AR can find a way. But back to the point, I'm kind of getting off here. I think it's very good for a quarterback to be thrown in the fire. Test his confidence. Test who he is. Test his mentality. Because, whether or not they're starting, they don't start year one. They start the first game year two. It's going to be stressful. You're going to have the media all over your back. If you throw one or two picks, or one pick and don't have a great game, the media is going to be all over your back no matter what. Now, if you can't block for jack squat, then I understand not putting that quarterback out there, because then he can't really learn. And he's taking a beat into his body. But the offense line is good enough. I don't care how raw the player is. Throw them out there. They need that experience, especially at AR. Only starting 13 games in college. He needs all the experience he can get. And it's a good test to their mental strength. You're always going to be stressed out as a QB. You're always going to be. And if a QB fails just because he doesn't have a good start to his career, maybe his talent just isn't there. But if he fails because his confidence failed him, then could he have ever really been a franchise quarterback under all that pressure? When you make the playoffs, you're going to be under pressure. There's going to be stress. It's whether or not you can learn from it. You can learn from those mistakes and not shut down. Tired of hearing about poor old Taylor. Grow up. You signed the deal. It's on you, and we don't have to give our best player for peanuts. You guys don't know anything. I agree with the part where, people around here know their football. Keep it respectful. People around here know their football. But I will, agree to the point. I will agree with the point that you made about signing the contract and that you have to play. I think Taylor should play. He signed the contract. As a running back, he knew what he was getting himself into. Maybe not as obvious then as it is now. But he is a running back. He knew what running backs get into in this league. So I think it's fair to have him go out and play. To make him go out and play. I think it's fair. I had a QB. We had a QB. We did. Running backs don't go for first round pick in today's game. That's not where the market is. Facts. Now, Herbert, we have breaking news. Colts waive Darius Rush. What? No. They really waived Darius Rush? You know what's weird about that? You know what's really weird about that? I was thinking the other day. Remember, I think it was Sean Davis, a 4th round pick out of Florida. It's a safety, 4th or 5th round pick. I'm like, what if Darius Rush gets cut like he did? Did he really just get cut, or are you playing? Are you playing? Let's see it. Let's see. A lot of surprises for me. Darius Rush waived. You don't have anything in the cornerback room as it is. They knew he was a project. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You waived Darius Rush. Why? That just gets now that's getting my blood boiling a little bit. Why? Why would you waive Darius Rush? A lot of surprises for me at the initial look at the roster. 6 defensive tackles. What? 5 tight ends. 4 receivers? What's going on? I guess they want to do a lot of running. I guess they want a lot of tight ends. Darius Rush being waived. What's that O-line? Depth. And that was Derek Larger's tweet from Bring the Juice. That is just... That's a shocker. That's a shocker. 4 receivers. Let me see if the depth chart's updated on their site. Let's see if it's updated on ESPN as well. All right. Let's see. Not going to be updated there. Let's look in the Colts live chart. Oh, my God. This is scary. So we keep 5 tight ends. So we kept Molly Cox on, didn't we? Let's tackle off guard tight end. Molly. We kept Molly Cox. There's no reason to keep Molly Cox. There's none. So the final roster is Michael Pittman Jr., first receiver, right. Isaiah McKenzie and Alec Pierce, all listed as starter, and Josh Downs. What? Huh? All right, let's look at the offensive line. Bernard Ryman and Arlington Hambright are listed as left tackles. Not good. Left guard, Quentin Nelson and Carter O'Donnell. Center, Ryan Kelly, Danny Pinner. I thought Dakota Shepley was cut. He's here on the roster. Right tackle, Braden Smith and Blake Freeland. Tight end, Molly Cox, Drew Ogletree, Will Mallory. Fahora Brown is still in the depth chart. I thought he was cut. So I'm assuming the tight ends are Molly Cox, Drew Ogletree, Will Mallory, Kylan Granson, and Jelani Woods. So, right guard, Will Fries, Wesley French. Right tackle, Braden Smith and Blake Freeland. Running backs, Jonathan Taylor, Zach Moss, Deion Jackson. What is this? What is this? Evan Hull, Deion Jackson, Zach Moss. 5 tight ends! 5 tight ends! Why? This is like 5 tight ends and 4 receivers? This is like just as bad as the Jets when they kept 4 quarterbacks on the roster. Okay, so this is what I'm getting from this. This is going to be a very oversimplified offense. Very oversimplified offense. I'm getting that it's going to be a very heavy RPO system. RPO's like every play. Is Anthony Richardson going to take off with the ball? Is he going to hand it off? Or is he going to make a one-man read? Is that what I'm getting from this? Is that what I'm getting from it? Defensive end. Kwity Paye, Tyquan Lewis, Khalid Kareem. Defensive tackle. DeForest Buckner, Taven Bryan, McTelvin Agim. Nose tackle. Grover Stewart, Eric Johnson, Adi Tamua. Defensive end. Samson Bukum, Deo. Linebackers, Shaq, EJ Speed, Grant Stewart, Segun. Oh, I don't even know the name. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 29, 45, 6 or 7, 8, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 51. This is bad. What's up, Let's Colts Talk? I'm sorry. But this is absurd. So, yeah, I'm assuming it's going to be a very heavy RPO offense. Lots of runs. Lots of runs. Lots of QB runs. Yeah, this is an interesting roster to say the least. But I can't believe. So, let's see who the starters are at cornerback. It's Darrell Baker Jr. and DeLis Flowers still Didn't change that. Julius Brents, Rush is still on the roster, so this isn't actually the final roster then, because Rush is still on this. Colts, upgrade your depth chart, update it, yo. They haven't updated themselves. Wild. This is wild. That depth chart's wild. So you guys just got my instant reaction to depth chart, to most of it. But I think I'm gonna have to get off here. I know it's kind of premature. There's still things to talk about, but I have to get things done for Hot Take Tuesday later on tonight. If you would like to be featured on Hot Take Tuesday, on my Discord, I ask all you guys for hot takes, and I post them. The deadline is over for this week, but here's a Discord. Next week, you can drop your hot take, and there's a possibility for you to be featured. It's basically like a shout out, and you're also giving me something to talk about, something that you want me to talk about. But yeah, I am not a fan. Not a fan of this. This depth chart is very interesting. I guess we're gonna have to trust the process, though. Trust the process. We have no other choice. We're fans, right? We just have to sit here and hope for the best and hope that the Colts have a plan, and they obviously do. Probably going to be a heavy RPO system, so I guess we'll see. That's all I got for you guys today. I'm going to wrap it up because I have to go get stuff done. I have to go get stuff done for the Hot Take Tuesday. I have to go, it's getting later in the day. I have some things I have to do. So that's what I got for you guys today. Thank you for tuning into the JDW Sports Talk Show, where every fan is welcome. If you guys enjoyed this live, make sure you like, subscribe, put the post notification bell on so you don't miss any future videos. I appreciate you guys. We are 2 subscribers away from 1,190. We have 9 people in here. Good live. I appreciate it, Colts Talk. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you stopping by. Join the Discord, man. It's a good way to keep involved in the community. It's a great community we are building, honestly. And I appreciate you guys. And I appreciate the effort that you guys have put into this show as well, especially everyone on Discord always giving a hot take. It's not just me. And I always do this at the end of every live, just preaching and getting a little like this. But I appreciate all of you a lot, and without you guys, there's no JW Sports Talk Show. The analogy I've been making lately is that when a strong foundation is built, you have the bricks in place. The bricks make up a strong foundation, and I think all of you guys symbolize bricks and building the show, building something great. Join now. Awesome place to be. Hey, drop your hot take. I'll make an exception for you. I'll make an exception if you drop your hot take. I'll make it quick. I know I said 3:30 was the deadline, but join now. If you drop a hot take, I'll feature it tonight. But yeah, guys, I appreciate you guys. 118 views. I really appreciate all of you from the bottom of my heart. We're building something great here, a great community we are building. You want to be around for this. You want to be around for what is going on. We're building something great. We're building a sports empire. If you want to be involved, join the Discord, subscribe, like, stick around. I promise you won't regret it. It will be one of the best decisions you ever made in your life. And we're not only, around here, we're not only just, our goal isn't just to, first, getting caught with my words. I don't just like to hit that record button, talk about the topic and say hell with them. No. You guys mean something. You guys are important. Without you guys, there's, this isn't a thing. There's none of this. So, I think that's all I got for this live. Thank you guys for tuning into the JW Sports Talk Show. Before we do hit the road, one last thing. I want to give our members a shout out. If I could pull up thing. Thank you to our members. Thank you to Marshman Gunner. And thank you to Red the Rat. I appreciate you guys for becoming members, but I want you guys to realize you do not have to be a member. Do not ever feel like that you need to become a member to be a part of the community. But if you do become a member, you're going to get a little extra back. It's just how it works. But don't ever feel like you have to become a member to be a part of us, to be a part of the community. If you do, I greatly appreciate it. That's all I got for you guys today. Thank you for tuning into the JW Sports Talk Show, where every fan is welcome. JW Sports Talk Show, signing off. Man, I hate signing off. I love talking to you guys, but I have to do stuff. I hate signing off. I'll see y'all later.